Hi, this is Eric with Sweat the Details. Today I'm going to do a 10-year review on my Mytee HP-60 carpet extractor. We'll open up the top, take a look at the internals and see how they've held up. I'll tell you what I've had to replace on it. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and stick around to the end and I'll tell you would I buy it again? Maybe not so much. All right, jumping straight into this. I've already taken off 2 bolts in the back. That's what holds the top down. Open it up. Maybe pull this tube off of here, give us a little more room to look inside. As we can see, it's a little dirty. I do get in here periodically and check everything out. All the tubes in here have held up really well. You can see some of the fittings starting to rust a little bit. Now, just for a clarity, let me hold this up here. These are your inline water heaters. There's 2 of them. Heat up to 220 degrees, I believe, and they're 1200 watts. This is your vacuum pump. This is your water pressurizer, 120 PSI. I have never had to replace any of these parts. So these are all original 10-year-old parts. The only thing in here that I've had to replace, which was done recently, was this little thing here, which I will get into in a minute. This tube here, I've never replaced, nothing else. As you can see, not bad. Starting at the bottom of the machine, I have had to replace 3 of these casters. Now, the issue I had was when you lock them down like that, which is a great feature if you're on a hill, if you do not remember to unlock them, and you'll end up pushing this across the concrete and that wheel won't move. And I actually damaged the caster myself, so that was completely my fault. The casters are expensive. I can't remember if I spent maybe $50 on it. Next thing I had to replace was the wastegate, which is this right here. Oh, it's got stuff in it. Now, the issue with this is this internal thing here, it got dirt or grit and it started scoring it. So when I closed it, you wouldn't get a good seal. So as you can see, it's got a good seal now. Can't remember what that cost, maybe $30 or $40. It was kind of pricey to replace that whole thing. Coming around the front, these buttons, all 3 gone bad at some point. The good thing about these buttons is they're dual throw. So if one side goes bad, you can just take the wires off and put it on the other side. So you basically get 2 uses out of each button. It's a good idea to keep an extra one of these. I think these cost $15 on Mytee's website. Good thing about their website is that when you go on there, they actually have schematics, and those schematics will tell you exactly what part number you're looking for, and it's really super easy to find what you're looking for. Next thing I replaced, I did want to get into this. Now, this is pretty bad. This is a bad design. I can never get my finger in this, and I guess that's how you're supposed to open it. I need to put a little knob here. I think that would make it a lot easier to open, but I've just been using that for years and it's become a habit. This is the worst thing about this extractor, and it's this line right here. This is the solution tank. This gets filled with water, and you can see right now this line's rusted, and I will tell you, I've replaced this line probably 4 times, and I literally just replaced that line, I want to say 6 months ago, and I don't keep this filled. So this is a solution line. This water comes up superheated through this line, and it comes out this hose to go to your tank or go to your sprayer. So this line's super hot. It's in solution water. The only thing I can figure that they designed this is so that when it's hot, it heats up the water that's in your tank. to me it's a bad design, because that line, it just keeps rusting and I keep replacing it. And the original line they no longer even carry. This is a replacement line. I had to call Mytee and get a part number for this, and I believe this line's like 40 bucks. So it's pricey to replace this every couple years. This is my biggest downfall with this machine, is that line placement. When I bought the Mytee 10 years ago, 2011-ish, 2012, I believe I paid about $1,200 for it. Looking at their website, it's now going for about $1,700, and it's not the most expensive machine. The most expensive machine they had, I believe, was closer to $2,000. They also have one that is a smaller unit than this, and the only difference with it is it's 1 gallon less for solution and recovery tank, and the heater is 1,000 watts instead of being 1,200 watts. I will go on record saying right now that this machine, the 1,200 watt heater, is fantastic. You will never have to wait for hot water. If you're serious about detailing, you have to use hot water. There's just no getting around it. That's what breaks up the grease. That's what breaks up all the stains, the grime. If you're using cold water, you're just causing yourself to do a lot more work. But the heater on this thing, it almost comes out like steam when it does come out. So I don't know if that's worth the extra $400 that you pay for this machine than the machine under it. This machine is also super heavy. It's 65 pounds, which is awkward for this machine. So if you're a mobile detailer, this may not be the option you're looking for. I've tried lifting this in and out of my truck. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not good for your back. The other machine is 20 pounds lighter, and they even have another machine below that one. I think it's called the Heated Tempo, which is only $800. But then you do have a big drop off as far as the vacuum. The vacuum on this thing is 3-stage, and you get 130 inches of water lift, which, if anybody knows about vacuums, that's tremendous. A regular vacuum, such as my little Rigid, that's 80 inches of water lift, and that's great for a vacuum. But when you're trying to suck water out of fabric, you want that extra suction. You want to be able to pull that wet, damp out of the fabric, so you can get to drying the seats, drying the floor a lot faster for your customers. So when I bought this machine, I wanted top of the line. I wanted the biggest, the baddest, and I believe I got that. And I use this machine quite a bit when I first bought it. I don't use it as much now that I have a steamer, which you can see back there. I got a VX 800, and that one I've probably had, it's probably close to 10 years too. I think I bought that maybe a year or two later after this, and that's my go-to machine now. But still, every once in a while you get that carpet, you get that seat, that car, where you got to pull out this bad boy, and it's a game changer. It's a lifesaver. You can deliver so much better results in so much more little time. I've had very few problems with it. Just a few things that I've mentioned. When I've needed this machine to work, it's worked. I've used it in 4 different states, 4 different moves, and it works. I've changed out my upholstery tools several times. You may have seen some of my other reviews on my upholstery tools. I actually just bought this. I believe this is called the Air Light, and this is probably a whole other review I can do. It's a very good tool. I like it a lot. The issue with this is you're going to leave a little bit more damp than my last tool review, which is the Mytee Dry. So I use the light more than the dry. That's a whole other video. Right now we're going to talk about the extractor. Would I buy it again? I'm gonna say no. For the price and what I use it for, I probably wouldn't. If you're a big time detailer, you're doing a lot of production, this is a great tool to have in your arsenal. For what I do, I average 2 cars a week. This is my hobby, my passion really. It's not something I do for a living, but it's something I love to do. I don't get as much use out of it as I probably should. It's overkill for a lot I do. When I need it, I'm glad I have it. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad I have it, and I'll probably never sell it because it's just too handy of a tool. It's too easy to replace the parts in it. It's a lifetime tool. When you buy this, you can have it for a lifetime, and you just keep replacing parts in it, and that's what I plan on doing. But if I was going to make that initial investment, I would probably go with something lighter, something more mobile. Maybe the one right below this one, which would save $400. Even that might be too much. I wouldn't go the Walmart route with the little extractors they buy there for like $100. Like I said, you have to have heat. If you're going to have an extractor, there's no point of not having heat. Overall, great machine. It depends on your situation, like everything in life. If you can afford it, if you have the clientele and the volume to support it, absolutely. This is where you want to go. For my situation, something smaller probably would have been better, but that's the decision you have to make. This is Eric once again. Thanks again for watching.